Okay, we're back, guys. This is, once again, super awky. I am just trying to learn to film in my car without feeling embarrassed for just existing.
It's like great for me. I don't want to do it. I want to go home. Like, I can't take the pressure of it.
But today I kind of wanted to make a video on my experience growing up, kind of the unconventional friend who no one really looked at growing up until they, quote, glue up. Let's take it back. Let's rewind this beat. In middle school is probably when I first started thinking about looks and how other people look around me. Specifically, I think it all kind of stemmed from the internet, but I grew up kind of not liking the color of my skin, in the sense that I grew up in a predominantly white area, and I also grew up half Asian. So there are a lot of colorist beauty standards going on in my mind.
알 수 있고 디오 저인데요. 잘 모르겠습니다. 닮은지. 그리고 카이는 누가 봐도 카이인 피부색이 검은검해서.
그 둘의 공통점이 있죠. 까매요.
In middle school, I bought this papaya skin lightening soap because I thought it would make my skin lighter, which it did, but it also made it really patchy and dry, and would not recommend. I didn't only have problems with my skin color. I felt like I also had problems with my hair as well. Like, my hair texture kind of ranges from 3A to 3C, and it's sometimes really hard to define a curl, and I didn't know how to do my hair, and I was kind of fed to believe that straight hair was just more beautiful. So I really dislike those two parts of myself. Just to emphasize that fact, I would watch subliminal hair straightening videos. Oh my god, it's not funny. And I literally one time got a perm or a curl texturizer treatment to chemically change the way my hair looked, and it low-key just made my hair even more damaged in the long run. So that was my bad.
And it don't move. It will. Woo! My hair.
My mom told me no to, and I was a bad child, and I still did it. But yeah, I just wanted to really bring that point home of how I struggled deeply with coming to acceptance with my physical features. I think a lot of it had to do with middle schoolers just being kind of really mean and also racist, because once again, I grew up in a predominantly white area. And this was during the time where Vine kind of was in this strange dark humor era. But another reason I started to really start thinking about how my looks are perceived is in middle school, since this was the time when people started getting, into relationships, and you'd hear oh, so-and-so has a crush on so-and-so, and this is also the time where there's this thing called the Oreo challenge. I think that's what it was called, but basically mostly what I noticed was guys, but obviously anyone could do this trend, but you would go up to someone and pretend to ask them out, and then at the end you just feel oh, it was a joke, I was joking, I'm joking.
Give me that.
What?
Give me that.
My food?
I'm joking.
Most guys I remember would target less cool girls or people to pick on to do the trend with, and I was not personally a victim of this, but definitely made me think for the first time about how looks actually influence how other people treat you. Moving on into high school. So once again, I said I lived in a PWI, predominantly white area. And then to make matters even more exacerbated, I go to this private high school. And once again, no one is really paying me any attention. This is when hookup culture starts to become a more talked about thing within my friend group and in my life. Not for me personally, I was not hooking up with anyone, but the whole fact that people were just getting with each other solely based out of attraction was kind of strange to me, because once again, no one has come to me validating my looks and like thinking that they thought I was pretty. And I think over the years of growing up not really being looked at, I think sometimes it can have a negative effect on certain people. But for me, I think it was kind of beneficial because it kind of made me, it like forced me to work on other aspects of myself that weren't just physical. It kind of just emphasized the fact that looks are like the least important part of yourself. Even like making friends and stuff like that, I never made friends based off the premise of looks and social currency. It was like, oh, we fuck each other hard, so let's just be friends. It was kind of just like that. Once again, you know, I was just like hearing my friends getting like approached, and it was just me, just awkward, shy little me standing in the corner. And I want to say I was also like still really shy, so that also probably didn't, you know, help the fact that no one approached me, because I was like really quiet. So it's like, do not talk to her, do not talk to her. Yeah, this kind of all changed when I went to college, where I was able to experiment with like doing makeup and dressing in ways that I found cool, just like looking at Pinterest mood boards and stuff like that. I definitely did start getting approached more during parties and stuff like that, and people like actually would come up to me sometimes. I'm not saying I'm like the prettiest person on this planet Earth, absolutely not, but like people would validate my looks and be like, oh, you're so pretty, and I'm like, oh my god, no, you embarrassing. But I will say, I've never personally noticed that I've been treated like significantly better because of my looks though. I'm not wearing makeup 90% of the time, so 90% of the time, I'm not really reaping the benefits of pretty privilege. You shouldn't feel the need to wear makeup 24/7 just so you can be treated better. Because ultimately, if you're someone like me who just stays in their own lane, you don't really see those differences that much. Especially if you surround yourself with the right people. Your friend group should not change. They should not act differently based on how you look or like what state you're in. They shouldn't treat you nicer just because you put on makeup. No, I hang out with my friends without makeup, with makeup, they treat me the same. So honestly, if you are surrounding yourself with people who do that, I think you need to evaluate your friend groups. First of all, I think that's the first issue, because I think pretty privilege, like you really reap the benefits when you're on social media. The people around you that you rarely interact with, like they come and go, so why do you even care what they think of you, you know? Yeah, some random man just walked by and complimented me like, thanks, I'm never gonna see you again. He could have walked by me and said that I was ugly, and I'd be like, to you.
What? Child. Anyway, so.
Because if you're secure in yourself, who gives a f what other people have to say? My thoughts on how people look kind of changed once I went to this party. I went to a high school reunion kind of like party, and I found out that this one guy who was also really quiet, but he was also more popular than me because he was like very funny. He told me that he thought I was really pretty back in high school, and that was very shocking to me because I literally thought no one paid me any attention. But the fact that someone found me cute in high school despite not being conventionally attractive kind of solidified the fact that someone will find beauty in you. Firstly, that person should be yourself.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
The whole point of this video that I wanted to make was that beauty trends kind of come and go. We're in this like BBL era, and now we're in this Ozempic era. It kind of just flip-flops based on whatever is trendy. But at the end of the day, despite what trends are popping, that was such a weird way to phrase that, you should just find beauty in yourself, because I think we all have pretty aspects of each other, and that's such a beautiful part of life. I think it would be so boring if we all just started looking like each other and became weird plastic surgery Barbie dolls. That kind of concludes this video. So hopefully I didn't just yap too long because it was kind of all over the place, but hopefully someone gained something from that video. And I'm going to go now, but love you guys. Bye.